What the hell is going on, people? Hope everybody is doing okay. I haven't uploaded in a while because I haven't uploaded in a while. Mostly what I upload is usually football stuff, and it's the off season, so there's that. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is I've been watching a lot of true crime shit. I'm gonna finish my lunch while I'm doing this, so y'all gonna have to watch me eat too. I've been watching a lot of true crime shit, man. And one of the things that get me is, other than the crimes, because I've been watching so much shit. I watched some true crime shit about, the old crimes, the old missing people, and all these funny ass, weird ass murders that take place. And then I watch shit that's other, documentaries and shit like on YouTube of pretty much the same type of shit, but more recent and more specific to a lot of stuff that happened online and shit like that. No matter what it is, sometimes the thing that gets me with this is sometimes the sentencing. The sentencing is a lot. God damn. The sentencing, I'm just like, that's all they get. That's and I don't know, maybe they trying to get to the point where they don't lock people up as much. Like, they have to give you some time, as far as a deterrent, because if you're a repeat offender, I do notice that repeat offender, your ass is you finna get put up. You know what I'm saying? If you show yourself, to be like a repeat offender, they usually be like, okay, this motherfucker, all right, bye. But sometimes it's just like, really, that's all they get is, a couple of years, maybe 13. There's always some weird ass number of months. I'm like, just give them either a year and a half, a year, or some shit. Don't be getting no weird ass 15 months or some shit like that. Get the fuck out of here. But and then they give you some fucking probation after that, and which I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure how the probation works. I should, because I got an ex-girlfriend that was a probation officer. I was on the phone with her during the workday so much. I should know how this shit works, but I don't know how often you have to go in and all this other stuff. I do know that you have, you get urinalysis and all kind of shit like that. But how often you gotta do all this shit? Goddamn flies in here, man. Goddamn it. But yeah, you get probation for a number of years or whatever the fuck. But some of the crimes, I'm just like, okay, they didn't cause, folks, the shit don't, just put it like this. Put it like this. I think that corporal punishment need to be more of a thing nowadays. And you know how folks is. Corporal punishment, no. I mean, I don't see why not. You still got hangings and firing squad on the books in certain states. They don't use it, but it's on the books. If they decide they want to do that, they could. They still have, I live in Texas. We had a goddamn death penalty. Motherfuckers will kill you. But we need to have, and they will find shit inhumane or some shit. No, we need to we need to have caning for some of the shit. You know what I'm saying? We need to have caning. That shit is horrible. It is. But for some of the crimes I see folks do and get away with, and for some of the attitudes these people have towards some of the crimes that they do and shit like that, it's just like, you are a caning prospect. And that ought to be for motherfuckers that be like, they done did whatever crime they gonna do. It don't really warrant, 20, 30 years in jail or some shit like that. And having motherfuckers on probation for 20 goddamn years ain't gonna do shit. It's like, okay. And some people are just kind of flipping about the shit, and they didn't. Yeah. You're a caning prospect. The judge, because judges always give some weird ass goddamn sentencing in some regards anyway. I don't know how they, I don't know what they can, as far as sentencing, I don't know God damn it, my vocabulary ain't, I don't know what liberties how far they can go with it. Because, they just tell people, okay, well, you got to do this shit right here. And you got to do that right there. And I'm like, that ain't in nobody's goddamn law book. You just made that up for them to have to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But caning, and it's like, if you caning, you get at least 3 lashes. At least 3. You know what I'm saying? If you do it right, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen caning done before. It's 3, and it's like the way I would implement it. You know what I'm saying? The way I would implement it, if you get 3 lashes, 1 back of the calf, your lower leg, 1 just both of the shits, because when you do caning, they tie your ass up like this. You have your legs like that, and your arms are like this. So it ain't no, you can't, like, you get a whooping, you trying to put your hand in front. Nah, there's your ass up like that, and it's a motherfucker with a big ass fucking stick. And they'll have, okay, bam, back of the calves, both of them. Yeah, both back of the calves. And then you have 1 back of the middle leg. You know what I'm saying? Like your hamstrings, right in the back of your middle. Yeah, that's 1 left. And then 1 cross your ass. Yeah, 3 lashes. That should be sufficient for a lot of folks. Now, if you hadn't witnessed a goddamn caning before, and I stayed below the goddamn waist for obvious reasons, because you can hit motherfuckers up in their back and shit, but that you get to the point where, like, okay, now you're dealing with some, you can start, serious injury after that. But lower leg, back of the thigh, ass, if you've seen a goddamn caning before, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, if you've been on the goddamn internet, or if you're from another goddamn country where they do this shit. If you've seen 1 lash. If you've seen one, motherfucker, this ain't no glory shit. This ain't Denzel sitting there with a tear coming out of his eye going, just taking this shit like a motherfucker. If he was getting caned, that nigga would have been on the ground, just wiggling around like a goddamn earthworm on fire. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been no him sitting there. You see him taking all them goddamn lashes and whipping all. It's not that. I'm not saying that is pleasant. No, it's not. But caning is different. It is. You get that cane, yeah, you just, because motherfuckers be like, now, y'all just seen me do that. Look real stupid though, didn't it? Me sitting there doing that. Yeah, that's what motherfuckers do. One lash. One lash, yak. And I'm talking about, and that lash usually breaks skin. It does. Just like a whip will break skin, that lash will usually break skin. 3 of them shits, that's why I kept it below the waist. Ass, back of the thigh, that just, you gonna live with that. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be, we need to implement that shit for a lot of motherfuckers these days, especially some of these newer generations that didn't have to deal with corporal punishment. You know what I'm saying? I'm Generation X. We got our ass whooped in school. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until the tail end of Generation X, when that generation started to get out of high school, is when they started taking that shit out. Like when I was in high school, back in the mid-90s, they was phasing that shit out. Now, you could still get popped by certain folks. You know what I'm saying? You can still get popped by certain folks, but it would be a clandestine type of thing, and usually only if you was involved in sports and shit like that, where it was kind of accepted. If you got popped or something, you didn't. It wasn't like you was getting beat the fuck up or no shit like that. It was just, you know, whatever. You get popped, you be like, god damn it, and then you just go about your goddamn business. It wasn't like it was like the time like when I was in maybe elementary school for sure, and then in junior high school, where you had coaches and teachers that had custom made paddles and shit like that, which is like, even I look back on that like, really? You got, and I was in school. I know what kind of students we had. If I was a teacher back then, I probably would have had a custom made goddamn paddle too. Yeah, I really would have just this paddle, you know what I'm saying, with holes drilled in it for, you know, for all kind of goddamn aerodynamics, and I just, motherfuckers make jokes about the shit, but it's like, that's what the fuck was happening. Get a goddamn popping. Yeah, motherfuckers was with special techniques. And you had motherfuckers that would go whap. Then you had motherfuckers that would pop, but they would swing like down. I'm like, how the fuck do you even do that? You motherfucker go whap and swing down on your ass and pop you. Just like, nigga, how the fuck is you doing the way you at home fucking practicing new techniques on how to paddle motherfuckers like that? Yeah, I guess that's why we don't have that in schools no more. But we need to have that shit in real world crime. Bring back caning, man. You know what I'm saying? There's other shit out there. There's other shit out there that you could probably do to motherfuckers where I just be like, you know, just okay. But some of these motherfuckers deserve it. Some of these, all these little crimes and shit that I've seen. Yeah, you need to be caned, cause anything, and I think the caning shit that I saw was from motherfuckers. He was like fucking with some kids or some shit like that. I'm just like, if you live in a country where you know certain punishments, why would you do anything? You know what I'm saying? Why would you do anything? You fucking with kids, and you fuck around and get caught, and that's waiting on you. That's what's waiting on you. Other than whatever the hell is, I don't know if they just cane your ass and let you go or nothing. But I know that part is just, wake, motherfucker pass out. Nah, wake up, wake. Yeah, fucking pass out from the pain, motherfucker. Nah, wake up, yank. Ah! Motherfucker, no, we not finna hit your ass while you passed out. Wake your ass up. Yank. This shit is fucking terrible. It is like, okay, I've seen shit where I think motherfuckers deserve that. I think motherfuckers deserve that. There's motherfuckers that it's so funny. It's horrible, but it's funny. And it's like, okay, this and it needs to be a public goddamn a public display too. You sitting up there butt ass naked. That dude butt ass naked. You get some motherfucker that been lifting weights since he was like 2 years old, come out there super swole with this long ass 6 foot ass goddamn bamboo shoot, and he get to wail away on your ass. It's 3 lashes, man. 3. That's what you get. You get 3 goddamn lashes. We need to implement that shit. Instead of some of these goddamn sentences where motherfuckers just get to go sit down for, 18 months or some shit, which is, a year and a half. A year and a half. I mean, if I was sitting my ass in jail for a year and a half, I'd probably go fucking nuts. Well, I probably would. I ain't that far from it now, sitting in this goddamn house. But yeah, just, no. Nah, bro, just some lashes. You gonna get some time. You gonna get some time too, but you gonna get some lashes. Half of your time gonna be trying to recover from them goddamn lashes. You gonna be a model goddamn citizen if you know that shit is coming. I'm telling you now. They try to embarrass people and they try to do all this shit and all this stuff right here. No, fucking no. Caning. It don't get no simpler than that. You need one motherfucker that you pay a day's pay to. You know what I'm saying? You tie a motherfucker up and yak. 3 lashes. Cause you got, the motherfucker that do it gotta know what the hell he doing, else it ain't gonna work. Motherfucker have to be a caning expert. Motherfucker have to take he have to be a certified caner. You know what I'm saying? The way he done practiced the swing and all this other shit. So he know the perfect velocity and angle to hit your ass at when he ain't missing. Motherfucker go out there and miss. God damn it, he didn't miss the motherfucker. You need one of them motherfuckers, a certified goddamn caner. You gotta have it ain't like a motherfucker who gonna pull the switch for the electric chair. I don't know, he can do it, okay, click. Nah, motherfucker, that one motherfucker out there, he kinda nuts, cause you gotta be, something right ain't gotta be missing about you if you choose to do that. You know what I'm saying? Could I do it? Probably fucking not. You know what I'm saying? I probably couldn't do it unless I was personally affected. You know what I'm saying? Unless I was personally affected about whatever this motherfucker done did, then I could probably do it. But then again, depending on what the fuck he did, I would probably, like I said, you could only hit a motherfucker from the waist down. So I would probably try to kill this motherfucker. I'd probably try to kill him on one goddamn swing. So can I chop this motherfucker in half with this long ass broomstick? Can I do it in one goddamn swing? Because that's what I'm gonna try to goddamn do. This goddamn bamboo shoot is gonna fucking break. At least I'm gonna try to break it on his ass. And I don't think that's what they do. I think it's just like a whoosh, like that. It's a moderate swing, but that's the human body is frail. It is. It don't take much to fuck a motherfucker up. Could you do it? Like I said, if I was the God damn it, I don't know what the word is. If somebody out that motherfucker offended, if I was in the family or some shit like that, then I could probably fucking do it. Just some random ass motherfucker? Nah. I probably do it. No. It had to be, that person would have to piss me off to a great degree for me to be able to do that. You know. Unless you paid me a lot of money, and then it wouldn't fucking matter. Whoever the fuck you put out there, I probably beat the shit out of them. How much is this pay again? Like, I can buy me a goddamn shit. I can get the next console with that. Bring that motherfucker on out here. We finna beat his ass. We finna beat his ass. And I'm finna have me a goddamn Xbox 8. Operation Helix or whatever the fuck they got coming out next. I'm about to have me one of them motherfuckers right now. Yeah! Like, he took his leg off. That's right. I get a bonus. We're gonna knock that other motherfucking leg off in a minute, goddammit. My money. Yeah, but a lot of motherfuckers deserve, I think a lot of motherfuckers deserve that type of punishment for some of the crimes I done seen. I can't sit here and list all the goddamn crimes because there's a fucking lot of them. And some of them are just stupid, and some of them is just for the fuck of it. For the fuck of it, just like that motherfucker's dead just because I felt like it. And it's just like, okay, all right, we got it. But then again, that shit won't work for everybody. Like certain people, it won't work. Like I said, you have to be in a certain psychological profile for caning, because that's not gonna work on everybody. You can there's a lot of folks, you can beat the fuck out of them, you can do whatever the fuck you want with them. That's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Caning is terrible. It is. It will work. You know what I'm saying? Only if that person is able to be deterred. Not everybody can be deterred. You get real psychopaths out there that actually might make them worse. You know what I'm saying? It actually might make them worse. Might not make no goddamn difference. You know, if they make it back out on the streets, you're just gonna end up right back the fuck back in there. Just okay, that shit ain't gonna work. You can't help but lock them up. Yeah, just lock them up forever. Y'all, they hand them one of them stupid ass goddamn sentences that don't make no goddamn sense. You be like, okay, you get life in jail. That's it. Life, no chance of parole. You know, you get the motherfuckers like that, and okay, that's fine. Why the fuck you gotta give a motherfucker a sentence Okay, this way you get 2 life sentences plus 250 years. What the fuck sense do that? What the fuck do you know about what's going on this planet where you actually have to give a motherfucker 2 life sentences and then tack on 250 years on top of that? And I'm not making it up. That's an actual sentence that I heard. Like 2 life sentences and plus 250 years. And I'm like, well, how many years does a life sentence consist of? Because 250 years seems like several life sentences in itself. God damn it. Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, it's just stupid. If you able to hand down that type of sentence, you ought to be able to have a motherfucker get hit 3 times with a goddamn mop stick. It should be on the goddamn books. Okay, goddamn it. This goddamn AC is on. And it is blowing on me. And it's fucking with me right now. Hold up. I turned it off. There you go. Man, the temperature, the weather here in Houston is something. It is. The weather here in Houston is something. It's you see, I got a goddamn hoodie on, and I'm not sure if it's hoodie weather or not. And my AC popping on, and I'm freezing. Go outside, and it's probably hot as shit. My goddamn delivery lady that brought me this food had on Daisy Dukes and some little top. She basically had on the Daisy Duke outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. The little top, all the midriff showing, and the fucking Daisy Duke shorts. It's like 60 degrees outside. At least I thought it was. Which for down here ain't Daisy Duke weather. She just felt like wearing that. Uh-oh. Anywho, I seen there was this one guy I was watching, and they was talking about swatting on the little shows I be watching on YouTube. Where that's like when you call 911 and impersonate a motherfucker and have the police send a SWAT unit to somebody goddamn house. You know what I'm saying? And them people be in their house minding their own goddamn business. All of a sudden, goddamn SWAT show up there. And a dude got shot and killed because of this. Dude got shot and killed. And they interviewed the dude that sent the shit by there, and he just, well, it wasn't me. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't do nothing. Okay. He was like some little 19, 20-year-old motherfucker or some shit like that. Kane. His whole his whole attitude towards the shit was just like, well, shit, it wasn't my fault. I wasn't the one pull the trigger. You know, one of the officers, the one that shot him, I didn't shoot him. You just, okay. You the one sent the motherfuckers over there. So, and that was his whole thing. Now, he ended up getting like 20 years and some shit on top of that. But his whole attitude towards it, first of all, why the fuck was you claiming responsibility for that shit to start with? If you kept your mouth shut, you would have been okay, at least for a while, before they probably trace it back to you. But goddamn, why are you even talking about it? But yeah, I'm just like, Cane. Oh shit, I'm spitting. Caning. Goddamn, I spit again. Try this again. Caning. That's the perfect motherfucker right there. You know what I'm saying? 20-year-old motherfucker. Got some attitude about himself. He think he too good to get caught and all this other shit. You know, he did some bullshit prank that caused a motherfucker to get killed. And he claimed responsibility for it. And they were like, hey, well, it wasn't my fault. I didn't. It's whatever. I didn't. It wasn't me. Cane, yeah, that's right. Butt naked in front of everybody on the planet. And then Mr. Muscle Man Universe 2050 get to come out there with a big ass fucking pole and whack your ass 3 goddamn times. I bet you after that first goddamn lick, the fucking flies in here, man. I'm gonna go crazy. Cats, y'all gonna have to go in or out because I'm gonna close this goddamn door. Yeah, that first goddamn lick, all that arrogant bullshit going right out the fucking window. It is. It's going right out the goddamn window. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's gonna sound like. That's what it's gonna sound like. That's regret at its most purest, uncut form. Yeah, regret. Just. It should be. Ain't nobody gonna be able to. You know what I'm saying? Some people find that shit funny. You know what I'm saying? Some people find that shit. I'm laughing now, but I'm just like, you know, people. I'm picturing this shit happening in my goddamn head. I've seen a caning before. It is not. It's for me to even suggest that should happen to people is fucking horrible in itself. But that's what the fuck people need nowadays. Because we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. We will try to inconvenience you. You know what I'm saying? We will try to inconvenience you. It ain't like it. There's still countries out there, if you get caught stealing shit, they chop off your fucking hands. You know what I'm saying? You get caught taking some shit. It don't matter what the fuck it is. You walk through the goddamn grocery store and you grab a grape and eat it. Motherfucker catch you. Yup. Whoop. Hang on. Goddamn grape. You know, just whoop. And then there's motherfuckers that don't. And even then, this motherfucker, they don't stop. They'll get caught stealing again. Like, bruh. But, like I said, that type of shit don't work for everybody. Yeah. It don't work for everybody. Sometimes you don't figure out it don't work on certain people until after you've done it. So, yeah. But sometimes you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I say it's a specific type that it's for. It's not for everybody. If a motherfucker is a straight up psychopath, you just lock their ass up. And another thing, other than this caning shit, is that pissed me off is motherfuckers with this they try to get off on this mental health thing that's everybody's got these days for some goddamn reason. Well, he's autistic, and every time somebody says something about autism, they always mention somebody being on the spectrum. You know what a spectrum is? A spectrum is from this to this. It's from this to this. And it's usually just from this minimum to this maximum here. It's not saying nothing. It's saying somebody's on the spectrum. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's just like, and it's just like, I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't. They said, my son has all, somebody will get caught, they'll do some kind of crime, no matter what the fuck it is. It could be something stupid or something fucking brilliant. Because a motherfucker with autism that can't go outside, can't talk to nobody, can't do shit. But he hacking into the goddamn government databases and shit, doing who the fuck knows what. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, really? And you got these motherfuckers that just got autism, and he's just out here just killing motherfuckers with no goddamn reason at all. You know? And he has he has autism, but he's just out here operating like everybody else. He was normal until he did some shit. Motherfuckers want to do this, claim some kind of insanity or claim some kind of, shit like that. I'm like, okay, if that's gonna be your defense, then okay, that could be your goddamn defense. But know this: if that's the case, if mental health is the case, because usually a motherfucker try to pull in some kind of mental defect or some shit like that to get off of whatever goddamn charges they got. Like, okay, well, if it comes to the point to where, okay, this mental defect, this is what you're suffering from. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's this autistic thing that you claiming, or you claiming insanity or some shit like that, then all right, charges, you beat the charges. But okay, if this is the case, to where you got this you got this mental defect, whatever the fuck it is, and it causes you to do this, okay, well, these charges will be dismissed. But since you have this defect, we're going to use this defect to have you taken off the streets permanently. Because either you a criminal and you can't operate in society safely. We can't trust you to operate, without fucking people up for some goddamn reason. Why would we trust you to operate inside society, you know what I'm saying, with a mental defect that causes you to do this shit right here? So either way, you're going to get locked up because of these charges, or you're going to get locked up because your ass is fucking broken and you can't be trusted to operate in normal society without fucking people up. So, okay, you can use that as your defense, but it ain't no way to win. You're going to get locked up either way. You know what I'm saying? You're going away either way. So, I don't see the point of a motherfucker claiming insanity and that, because people have beaten cases because of this. When they give you those when they give you those psychiatric tests to see if you competent to stand trial, I'm like, if that motherfucker ain't competent to stand goddamn trial, he ain't competent enough to be out on the goddamn streets. He not. If you ain't competent to stand trial and you don't understand what the fuck is going on, then you damn sure don't need to be out in public with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? If you out there doing the shit that got you in here to start with, and you don't understand what the fuck you did, then no, you don't need to be out there with the rest of them. You need to be locked up somewhere. You need to be out of society. That's my take on it. You can like it or not, but it makes sense to me. Why would you let a motherfucker just roam around in society with a tendency to commit crimes, you know what I'm saying, that they don't have no control over doing? Because that's basically it. Because they don't understand, they don't know, blah, blah, blah. You ain't finna just let a toddler or some shit just roam around and just continuously fuck up shit. Know what I'm saying? You just know. You gotta put a motherfucking time out. You gotta leave them there for a long time. You don't do that to babies? You don't do that to toddlers? I don't know. I don't have children. That's probably why. I don't have a goddamn room. I have a padded room just for kids. You fuck up. You are going to the padded room, son. You don't know how to act. There ain't nothing in there. I'm serious. They put cheese on my burger. That's agitating me. Whoever put cheese on his burger need to be caned. I specifically selected no goddamn cheese. And that's the first thing I saw when I opened up my package. But yeah, beating ass. We need to beat ass in this country. You see how people act? You see how people act? The fuck is... You see how people act nowadays, and all these, it's always protesters and these fight the power people and all this. But a lot of the shit these days is all from people who ain't received an ass whooping ever. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never, because they kids of, I don't even know how far to go back, but they not Generation X kids. They not millennials. They not, well, maybe they are Generation X kids, because Generation X kids, I think, we wouldn't be able to raise our kids the way we want, the way we thought they should be raised, and we had to just leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? All we could do is talk shit. You know, you get the Generation X kids got the bad talk. And then the kids after that didn't even get that. That's where the shit started. You know, the Generation X kids we got our ass whooped. And then our kids couldn't get their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Their parents ended up in jail. Parents end up in jail, but they got this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? They got it bad. You know what I'm saying? Then they got it bad. You know what I'm saying? But the kids after that, nah. Can't even talk to them bad. That's where the bullying shit come in. Motherfuckers ain't been bullied. Yeah, bullying was something different when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? Bullying was different. Bullying actually consisted of you getting your ass whooped by other kids. Not somebody saying your mom had nappy hair or some shit. I mean, they did that, but we all talked about each other's mama. That wouldn't nothing. Called playing the dozens, man. Just that's what we did. You know, you skip a generation and then all of a sudden, you say a motherfucker. Yeah, like, you know, these motherfuckers talk about your shoes and shit. You wear some knockoff shoes, or you come to school wearing some Pro Wings, man. Oh my goodness. I remember that shit when I was in elementary school. You motherfuckers come to school wearing some Pro Wings. I had Pro Wings. I like my Pro Wings, so they can kiss my ass. But anyway, I had a nice pair of Pro Wings too. I don't remember what happened to them goddamn shoes. But yeah, you come to school wearing some Pro Wings, which was the cheap shoes, for the day. You got on some Pro Wings, they'll say all kind of weird ass shit about you and shit for wearing. Everybody else had their Reeboks and their Nikes and their British Knights and K-Swiss, all that kind of shit. And you had some Pro Wings on. That's like wearing some shoes that came on a hanger from Walmart. And actually, I got a pair of those over there. Cheap ass shoes from Walmart. I hate them shoes. Yeah, but that's, that was it. That was the equivalent of it, cheap ass shoes. Do that shit. You do that shit now, and motherfucker wear some cheap ass shoes to school, and the kids start talking about you. The next thing you know, the kid done off themselves. Write a note. They were talking about my shoes. I can't go on with life. This is terrible. And they go do some shit and take themselves out. And I'm just like, what? No, what? What the hell is going on? These goddamn kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about them. You can't do shit. The shit that kids do. That's what kids do. You put a bunch of kids in one goddamn spot. That's what the fuck they do. They haze each other. That's what and kids, you learn to deal with it. It's called character building. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? It's called character building. You learn to deal with that shit. No, these goddamn kids these days, they can't deal with it. Most of them can't. Well, some of them can't. I can't say most. Some of them can't. It ain't like 50% of the goddamn kids is just out here committing suicide or some shit. But, enough of them to where it's a goddamn problem. Just they can't take it. The kids talking about you. Teach your kids to whoop ass. When they gonna start that shit back up? It need to be a generation of kids to where it's just like, okay, this generation is just, okay, whatever generation is after whatever the fuck we got now, just like Generation Omega or whatever the fuck. It's like the no shit taking. And like, we don't take no shit. You know what I'm saying? This is a generation of motherfuckers fuck you up. And which, I guess it's it's not this current generation. I guess the current generation is a bunch of fucking babies, but the generation of these shooters that we have, I guess that this is them. Now I'm talking about don't take no shit, but there are limits to the goddamn thing. These motherfuckers, they don't take no shit. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we doing? This is the bullying shit. This is y'all really want to take it here? This is the bullying shit. Well, I got something for you. And then motherfuckers go off and y'all know the rest. And I'm just like, I wanted motherfuckers to stand up for themselves, but god damn it, not that goddamn much. Shit. And then and my whole point to a lot of this thing is the one people may not know about that I saw the other day, which I don't know, ain't no telling how long ago this happened. This motherfucker, I think he was like 24 or some shit. One of the motherfuckers that don't show no emotions and shit, on that spectrum. He was at this Madden. I'm pretty sure if you on YouTube, you probably know all about this shit. Madden tournament held somewhere in San Diego or some shit. I don't know. The Madden tournament, And he was supposed to be one of those, good Madden players, blah, blah, blah. And he fuck around and lost and got bumped out of a tournament. And motherfucker got pissed off. You know what I'm saying? When you, and it's like, okay, this is one of them people that said, you don't never talk to nobody. No, you don't never talk to nobody. And even when he won tournaments and shit, he ain't like show no emotion and no shit like that and no excitement. And he fuck around and lost. He got knocked out of a tournament and he got lost. He was like, he flipped out and just left the tournament. Left the building, went home. God damn it, went home, came back with 2 9mm, walked into the building and just started shooting motherfuckers. And I was like, that kind of proved my point, or solidified my point, whatever the fuck you want to say. Well, I was just like, you can't use those mental illnesses as a defense. To me, you can't. Because this motherfucker came back, and he was obviously one of those motherfuckers that was like on the, whatever the high end of the autism thing is, you can kind of just look at him and see, yeah, he just one of them motherfuckers just stoic, long face, just no emotion. And then when he, like when he did talk, it was just like straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no elaboration, no shit like that. It's just it's just like if you was around this dude, you can kind of tell that, you wouldn't say that he was crazy, but you just know that he was something was up with him. You know what I'm saying? If you can't make that kind of diagnosis, you just know. But anywho, this motherfucker, he went in there, he came in there, and people that he killed were kind of specific to, like he went in there knowing who he was gonna shoot. You know what I'm saying? And he just started shooting up motherfuckers, and then took himself out. And other than the take himself part out, okay, all right, we ain't got to worry about that no more. A couple of other people dead, but at least the source of it is done. But you got people that do that shit that end up on trial, that are suffering from the same thing that dude was obviously suffering from. Not apparently, I get some words messed, that he was obviously suffering from. Even you get confirmation from his family and shit like that. He's diagnosed, medicated motherfucker for the shit. You know what I'm saying? The autism plus other shit on top of it. And people come into the courtroom to try to get off on the charges of whatever they done did, using that claim. Well, that's my whole point right there, is that, okay, you can use that as your goddamn defense, but you kind of condemning yourself. You know what I'm saying? You kind of condemning yourself, because either way, we can't trust you to operate in society without being a threat to other people. You know what I'm saying? You getting charged for this shit, blah, 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 you get locked up. If that's the case where you claim you got this mental defect, you know what I'm saying, so you're not really responsible for these charges, well, you got this mental defect, we can't trust you to be out in public. So you going away, regardless. Now, where you go, that might be a whole nother thing. I don't know what they do for mental folks, but either way, you done, you out of public, you out of public life. You know, that's my that will that deserve a caning? No. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's a specific caning is for specific people. You know what I'm saying? If you got an obvious mental, not no a lot of these people with this I'm bipolar, I got ADHD, like yeah, everybody does. You know, you can't use that as goddamn defense. Fuck you. Yeah. And you can agree or disagree with that. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Everybody got that shit. It's called getting mad or getting anxious. You know what I'm saying? It's what humans do. It ain't a goddamn mental condition. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Yeah. Grow the fuck up. That's what it's called. That's the cure for it. Growing the fuck up. You know, you can take your little pills and take y'all little shit like that and blah 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 whatever. Grow the fuck up. That's because this is dealing with shit. That's what it is. Oh my goodness. Either way, if you got a confirmed mental condition like that, to where it's obvious, you know what I'm saying? Beating the fuck out of a motherfucker ain't gonna help. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna help. You know, beating the fuck out of a motherfucker that knows better, that might help. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, motherfucker that know better is just okay, we got something for you. Yeah, we got something for you. Yeah, okay. We got this motherfucker we found in Norway. We got this motherfucker we found in Norway. He done won the goddamn strongman competition like 13 goddamn times. And we finna get this motherfucker. We finna get this motherfucker this tree branch and let him weld away on your ass a couple times. Yeah. Nah. I think that's what we need in the society now. It is. It's what we need in the society now because nobody's afraid of anything. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is afraid of anything. You need to be scared of some shit. Now, we don't need to live in no dictatorial, I don't know the goddamn word for that shit. Y'all know them goddamn countries, they have these motherfucking dictators that just, it's fucking ridiculous where you can't even, you know, you can't do shit in the country without getting in trouble for something. You know what I'm saying? If you fuck around and wipe your ass with your left hand or some shit like that, they can lock your ass up in prison for the rest of your goddamn life or some stupid shit or something like that. There's still countries out there like that. It really the fuck is. I think I'm bullshitting. Do some goddamn research about these countries that still have these dictators in it, where these, you know, shit that you think is just basic freedoms. And you start thinking about the punishments they got for people. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Caning is caning will be the least of your worries. It will. It just, you know what? I'll take those goddamn lashes. At least that shit'll be over soon. Motherfuckers will have your ass in the goddamn dungeon somewhere, torturing your ass for the next 15 goddamn years. Over nothing. You know what I'm saying? Over nothing. Yeah, those countries still out there. But you need to be afraid of something. Fear is what keeps everybody in line. And here, in this country of ours, it's not a lot of fear. You know what I'm saying? You get to go to jail or prison or whatever the fuck for a little while. Usually it's like a jail, you know what I'm saying, depending on what the fuck you do. Most people end up in jail. You know, and then you out. I don't think that's a pleasant experience, but it's not. Prison usually means your ass is out there. You know what I'm saying? Prison usually means, okay, your ass then, you know, you done got put up. And they stick people in prison for a couple of years as a deterrent. But even then, you got shit to do in there. And you know, they let people early out all the goddamn time, you know what I'm saying? Especially depending on how early you go in there. You go in there, you get to go to school and earn your GED, and it's just, it's a rehabilitation process. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you getting out at some point, you got 5, 6, 7 years or some shit like that. You only end up doing half of that shit if you go in there and get into these programs and better yourself and shit. Why the fuck not? Like I said, this is for people that know better. You know what I'm saying? These are people that know better. You stick me in jail for 20 goddamn years. Well, depending on what age you get in there. The fuck am I? No goddamn GED. I ain't getting out of here. What the fuck I need a GED for? But anyway, yeah. Motherfuckers ain't scared of shit. So it ain't shit, you just, whatever. They just go in and, yeah, come out, keep doing whatever the fuck they was doing. Nah. It need to be something that happens to motherfuckers to where it's just like, I would rather not have to do that. Ever. And if it happens once, they damn sure gonna make sure that don't happen again. You know what I'm saying? It's just like repeat offenders and shit like that. Now, if your ass keep going back into prison, you go in for a couple of years, and you come out, you keep doing the same shit, you end up caning. It's like, okay, you're a repeat offender. You done went in, we done gave you a chance, and you going back in over the same shit. You get a caning and you go back in. You know what I'm saying? And you go back in. You might do a couple of years. You come back out. Nigga, I ain't scared of going back to prison. It's the going back in part that's going. I am not going through that shit. If you got to go through a caning before you go back into goddamn prison, if you're a repeat offender, oh man, that I think you'll get a whole lot more people taking themselves out before they get caught. It'll be a whole lot more police chases and shit going on. Like if motherfuckers get caught, they'll be running for their goddamn lives. They be running for their lives like, they be. You see motherfuckers acting up in goddamn court like it ain't shit. They get caught and they be like, yeah, you have been found guilty. Them motherfuckers probably trying to run out the courthouse. Oh no! You know it's what happen before you go back in. You know, you know it's what happen before they go back in. And they fuck them years, man. Some goddamn lashes going in that bitch. It's them lashes going in that they gonna be dreading. They be like, well, once I go in, don't you let me out this motherfucker. Motherfuckers be in jail doing shit, getting time added. Because they know when they get back out, they ain't got shit to go forward to. They probably gonna get locked up on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, nah, nope, I'm not leaving. You know, I am not leaving. You're not gonna be adding time to my shit. I mean, you just add some more time. Add some more time. I will get caught. The motherfuckers be just having contraband and shit on purpose. Just on purpose. They be doing shit in there on purpose. Getting caught, getting time added to their goddamn sentence. Like, I would just stay in this motherfucker. I am not going out and ended up coming back and have to go through that shit again. Fuck that. This is not gonna be what the. That goddamn scream for the motherfucking candies. Drool and spit gonna be drooling out their mouth and shit. All right, motherfucker. We just gonna wait for you to calm down. We're gonna wait for you to calm down. Okay, you ready? You calm down? Yak! Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was going to say don't look up caning, but as soon as you tell a motherfucker don't look the shit up, that's exactly what they gonna fucking do. So look it up. Just look it up and see. Don't want you to agree that some of these motherfuckers need for that shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? Some of them need for that shit to happen. You know, I know a bunch of like legit crazy motherfuckers where they won't help. They just have scars. That's all it is scars. That's all it's gonna give them is scars. It ain't gonna fix them. It ain't gonna deter them from doing shit. It ain't gonna motherfuckers just mentally out there, and you know you get. But motherfuckers said, yeah, you need a cane. I know motherfuckers that need like one lash. One. So you need one lash. Yet, woo! That's all you need. One lash. Oh, you what? Okay. Motherfuckers, okay, we're gonna sentence you to community service. You get so many hours of community service. You get 12 months probation and 2 lashes. What? What? No! 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 Community service, probation for a year. I take it. 2 lashes. No! No! Please no! No! Yeah. That would knock out a lot of shit. I ain't talking about for like traffic violations and no shit like that. No, none of that shit. No misdemeanor shit. None of this, the minor felonies and no shit like that. That would be quite severe. I'm talking about like right before you go to prison shit. Maybe some of the jail stuff. Maybe some of the jail stuff. But right there at the prison level when you get ready to send a motherfucker to prison. Right that level right before there. That's when you need to start handing out lashes. That's you know what I'm saying? Like when you sentence a motherfucker be on trial. It's fucked up. Motherfucker be on trial, and it's like, okay, you have been found guilty on this, that, and the other. And you know, motherfuckers be found guilty on shit, and then they get sentenced. But they would have been in jail for so long up until that point to where I don't know the term for this shit. It's time served. You know what I'm saying? We gonna sentence you to 2 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? But they end up getting released because, you know, they had already been, you know, the whole process that they was going through took more than that or whatever. So they get time served or whatever. So you get time served, however many, whatever, because, you know, there's some probation that comes along with that. And you get a number of lashes. Like I said, it wouldn't, anything more than 3 would just probably kill somebody. You get a number of lashes. Motherfuckers be like, what? Like, what? What? Lashes? And the fucked up part about it is that motherfuckers won't know. Especially if it's new, motherfuckers won't know about like caning. And they be like, yeah, you get 2 lashes. You get 2 lashes. You get time served, 3-4 years, whatever they give them probation, and 2 lashes. And they be like, 2 lashes? What the fuck is that? Okay, whatever. And they get out of jail, but you gotta, before you start your probation and all that shit, you got 2 lashes before they actually let your ass go. If that motherfucker wasn't crazy before he got out, the motherfucker will be after that shit. You'd have just created a goddamn monster. I bet you that motherfucker. Yeah, and if you violate your probation, you know what I'm saying, they send your ass back to prison. So you can't even violate your probation because when you going back into prison, that shit come with lashes itself. You know what? The more I'm thinking about, I just think about, that would be a deterrent because if you get the lashes beforehand, like, okay, you got time served and you got your probation, but you got 2 lashes before we let you go, as part of your sentence. You get those 2 lashes. And like I said, this shit is new. Don't nobody know. We're us in this country. Most of us ain't gonna know. Some of us gonna know. You bring in lashing. Oh man, you think people don't like Trump? You think people don't like Trump? Let a motherfucker say that we need to implement caning. Oh my goodness. I promise you ain't never seen a goddamn backlash. That's funny. You ain't never seen motherfuckers. It would be an uproar in this country if you bring up goddamn caning. If somebody try to implement that shit, bring it into this country, you would. I don't know what would happen. You ain't never seen a goddamn protest in your life. I would anticipate that. Somebody said, yeah, we need to implement caning as part of the sentencing structure here in the U.S. And motherfuckers would lose their goddamn mind. They would lose their fucking mind. Of course, it would be people around here that agree with it, like me. You know what I'm saying? It has to be. That's one of the things that we have to be more than responsibly implemented. I'd be like, hey, right on. 90% of the country will be like, what the fuck? They would. A lot of motherfuckers, you ain't never seen white people so much of an uproar. Most niggas out here be like, what the fuck is caning? You mean like Raising Canes? I like chicken fingers. They won't know what the fuck you talking about. Most motherfuckers, most black people, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not in this regard. Most people, I can't even say it's culture, but I'm just going to use that word. Most of us aren't even cultured enough to even know what caning is. Why the fuck would we? That's some shit that happens way over yonder ways. You know what I'm saying? We got shit over here to deal with. We not worried about motherfuckers getting their ass whooped over there in a whole nother goddamn country. Now, we know about the shit that happened. We'll be aware. We be aware of the shit that happened to the slaves and getting whipped and shit like that. But they won't know that caning is like that multiplied by some other shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Caning is like, you get, wow, motherfucker, you, wow, you goddamn bitch, wow, The motherfucker get whipped and shit, which is fucking terrible. You know what I'm saying? Which is terrible. Oh my goodness. Caning is worse than that. It is. It ain't no way they will implement this shit in this country. I'm sorry. I'm saying this shit now, but goddamn well, that shit will never be implemented in this goddamn country. And whoever try to bring it up, ain't no telling what liable to happen to him. Them, they, or whatever the fuck, whoever brings it up. I brought it up. So, but I'm talking about officially. If somebody tried to officially implement that shit, you probably would never hear from them no more. They would probably just disappear. They would probably just disappear. That's some shit that would never be implemented in this country, and it is probably exactly what the fuck we need. It is exactly what the fuck we need for some of the shit that we got going on around here. Oh my goodness. You want to keep motherfuckers in line? That will do it. We need motherfuckers to be afraid of shit. Motherfuckers are not afraid of nothing. Motherfuckers is not afraid of shit. Oh man. That shit just just picturing that shit. All the people, all the protests and shit. You think motherfuckers was tearing up shit when Black Lives Matter and all that kind of shit and everything else? Oh man. Oh, you could just take all those riots and all those. You just go all the way back as long as this shit been happening. And just include everybody. Not just black folks, but like I said, black folks won't know nothing about this. That's why I said the white people. Because them the motherfuckers that be knowing about this shit. And it's a whole lot more of them than it is of us. So if they start rioting and looting and shit, it's over. Black people tearing shit up, okay, whatever. They tearing up their own shit. White folks start tearing shit up, oh man, we in trouble. White folks start tearing shit. And if you try to bring back some shit like that, oh man. It's a reason why other countries don't be having the problems we have. That's just it. They know what the fuck happened if you fuck around. Other countries done figured out fuck around and find out. We have that saying. I don't know where it came from, but that sounds like the saying sounds like it's something that came from the U.S. The actual implementation of what that means, that came from somewhere a long ass time ago outside of this country before this country was even founded. Fuck around and found out, been around for a long ass goddamn time. And that's a fuck around and find out moment. That's a fuck around and find out moment. Anyway, I done ran my mouth enough. I'm for the I don't know what the fuck I'm finna do, but I'm finna hop off of here. I'm gonna catch y'all later, man.